I've been reading about Athlone. Fascinating place, so much history, so many stories of battles, wars, takeovers, brutality and some kindness and love.
Glad you added the kindness and love bit. I was getting worried.
There's always kindness and love. Sometimes it is just hidden amongst the drama. I found some funny ones too.
Okay, but we're looking for how Athlone got her name. Have you found that, or do we need to keep looking?
Well, I found a few. We can always keep looking.
Oh, down the rabbit hole of the schools collection.
Well, yes. Maureen Farr from Moat in County Westmeath will tell it to you straight.
There was a battle many ages ago. It's coming along the road. After the battle, he saw a wounded man by the roadside. He said, "Thou art alone." And from that day to this, the town is called Athlone.
She got that from a parent, so that's how Athlone got her name. Simple.
I don't think so.
Are you calling her parent a liar?
Maybe her parent was busy when she asked, or just made it up on the spot. You know, to stop the questions.
Or maybe the parent thought themselves a comedian. Anyway, Maureen seemed to like it.
But that's her story and she's sticking to it. Funny enough, there are many one-liner reasons for the place names in Ireland, mainly because the names don't make much sense as an English word. Wasn't Athlone called Ahamore first, the Great Ford, and then it became Athlone?
Ford of Monday, Jaloo and Jamarch. Maybe people only went there on Mondays. Or is it the moon? Ford of the moon.
Well, actually, that is one of the theories. One theory is that the inhabitants of the area were moon worshippers, and much of the gold found around there seems to lead to that conclusion. The pieces seem to be ritual in nature.
Oh, all quite possible. Was there also a connection to the Táin? Was it something to do with one of the bulls? An Táin is a story of a struggle for power between a queen, Maeve, and king, Éilil, where loads of people die on their behalf to prove a point. She is more, he is more, neither have enough. The only difference in their wealth is one has a bull that belonged to the other in the first place, but decided to stay with the one. So the other goes getting a bull that is better. And it ends up with everyone battling each other, and the battle goes on up and down and through the land, and when so many people are dead, it is funny. The bulls they were fighting over also go up and down through the land, fighting and ripping each other apart, and places get named after them, and the pair that started it are happily out with each other and have great sport out of it. Yeah, the 1% always existed and thought of no one other than themselves. If it isn't a bull, it's going to space.
You forgot to mention Cuchulainn, Fergus and Ferdiad. But yeah, there is some thought that after the two bulls, the brown and the white, fought, the brown, the dun, won and headed back to Ulster. Fatally injured himself, with a portion of the white bull's carcass on his horns. Stories go that Ahamore, he dropped a piece of the carcass, the loin, on Luan, and the name was changed to Athlone, Athlone, the ford of the loin.
That could be it. I heard tell, though, that Luan was a man, a blacksmith, who lived at the ford, and also that there was a man called Luan who had a hostel and ferried people across the Shannon at that spot. Sure, maybe the blacksmith owned a hostel and a ferry.
Maybe, but it could be older than any of these. It could be Fado when Athlone was named. Imagine a time when the world was younger. The seas and the rivers were crystal clear, with no pollution from farming, mining, drilling, diesel vehicles on land and water. A time when all the smells came from nature, and most of the noise too. This was the time when rivers were formed, and the rivers were named. A time before the people were beginning to move from smaller family groups to large communities. Sometimes the sounds of nature were interrupted by petty fights, brutal battles and horrific war, but never as bad as what was yet to come.
A time of magic, a time we whisper of, when those that lived were one with nature, so at one that they could flow from form to form, becoming human, land, river, animal or swan.
That is the time, the then and there time, before the here and now. During that time, when noble ones were fostered to other noble ones. An interesting way to keep the peace and learn new skills. There was Luan, son of Lugar, son of Louis. Luan could shapeshift at will to bird form.
Luan was fostered to Derg, who had a son Widget, who also liked to change his form to bird. Many of the old ones like changing to birds, and they like to do it around here, like Lair's children and Mither and Atane.
The two friends and foster brothers often transformed into their bird-like shape and sang their fairy songs together. Widget fell in love with a beautiful warrior woman of pale skin named Estu, but Estu was already wed.
Estu was wed to Nor, son of Fiach, son of Curled Connell, and Widget should have left well enough alone, but he did not, and he dragged his friend Luan with him, or so the story goes.
Widget and Luan, in their bird-like form, visited Estu at a place that was soon to be called Snáv dá Ain, the swimming of two birds. It was a lovely sight, and they sang their enchanted song to lull all those around them asleep. While all slept, the youths transformed into their human form so Widget could be with his lovely lady Estu.
Who knows how long this carry-on continued, but one day Nor asked of his druids where these birds that visited you had come from, and they told him they were Widget and Luan. They said they could not hide the truth from Nor. No doubt they knew what was to happen next.
The birds came as they would to Estu, and Nar was waiting. He hurled his spear and slew them with one shot. Luan did not die immediately. He flew a little and he reached the great ford, Ahamor, and there he died. Luan, son of Lugar, son of Lugad, and so Ahamor became Athlone.
The story has no happy end. Estu went along the riverside and died in a plain that became Malgasten. Nor died of sorrow for his wife and died at Mon Tiril Nor. The only ones who lived were the druids who told of the boys becoming birds and meeting with the warrior Estu.
How tragic.
But a beautiful story all the same. So maybe that is how Athlone was named.
Bye-bye!